Broadcasting live.
Listen live online 24/7.
24/7. Around the world.
Right here. Right now.
It's 300 Radio.
And you know this, man.
Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Scott Free Morning Show. I am your gracious host himself, L. Scott. You see the name on the screen. Before we get started, people, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, because that's very, very important. We are doing great numbers, guys. People are watching, people are paying attention. But I will tell you one thing I am doing is that, and I get it, because I'm the same way. We don't like to hit the subscribe button unless we're told to. And a lot of times, like if you're like me, most of the time I don't go hit the subscribe button until I realize it's something that I wanted to see on somebody's page that I didn't get a chance to see. And then I go looking for it and can't find it. So what I'll end up doing is just hitting the subscribe button and make sure I stay up with those people. So for me, if you're loving what I'm bringing you, if you love seeing this beautiful face, and I need to go and get a haircut, the hair's starting to grow out again, definitely hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, definitely comment, let me know what you're doing. If you're not paying attention on 300radio.com, you should be doing that as well. But anyway, today's show, we're not going to hold you people too long. We're going to make sure we get this out the way and get it done fast. This is the weekend after the NFL draft, so of course everybody's discussing the Shedeur Sanders situation. And I'll be honest, I've been watching sports for a very long time, and even though I see things, that sits on the racial line all the time, I can definitively tell you this situation is one that, this was big to me, guys. This one was so big to me because I think what it's doing is it's showing you that the world is changing. Let me say it this way. We have been controlled and dominated by a force for about the last 300-400 years, one entity, and it's been controlling us globally. And no matter what turn, they have pretty much controlled and dominated us. And I think right now what you're getting is you're getting a lot of pushback. See, I think COVID was a gift and a curse to society. Let me say it that way. It was a curse because, of course, we all had to go indoors. People's health are not the same anymore. The world has completely changed. We know the negatives, but the positives that came out of it, in my opinion, was people had time to stop and think for once. It's been so long since we've just had time to stop and think. And so what I'm happy about is people are using their brains again. And I think the reason why what Shedeur had to go through so much over the weekend, Shedeur Sanders I'm talking about, is because the Sanders family pushes the way of life. I know everybody gets the clear-cut racism in this. Everyone gets I'm going to humble this black man. His dad seems to be kind, so we're going to humble him too. But I think a lot of people are missing the bigger picture. See, the reason why, and I heard the pushback from some suspected white supremacists, they'll tell you things like, if it was about racism, then why did all those other black people get drafted? Racism isn't just about color and race. Racism is about domination of a group, and they're going to use whatever tool they need to make sure it happens. So with Shedeur represents Deion. See, Deion is the problem. It ain't Shedeur. Shedeur is actually a model fucking citizen. If his dad wasn't Deion, they would have loved him. Church-going brother, confident brother, leader of men. When it came to his education, he took it seriously. He has a lot of great qualities. The problem with him is that his dad is doing too much. Let's just be honest. See, you got to realize something. And it's not just his dad. It's a lot of pieces. It's his dad. It's Travis Hunter, the guy who went number 2 that was on the squad. And it's Shedeur. See, it's all this is because if people realize Travis Hunter was a highly sought after guy coming out of high school. And I think if he didn't sign with a big Division I school, he was ready to. But when he goes to Jacksonville, because don't nobody go to Jacksonville on purpose. Nobody goes to Jacksonville, Mississippi on purpose. And being that he chose it means that Deion had an impact. And then he takes, guys who would have went Division I, takes them down to this little bitty little black school. And then they turn this program around overnight. And then right after that, then other HBCUs and other schools started hiring other former NFL players. So what am I getting at? Basically, Deion's the problem is because Deion represents a new guard. See, I always used to say when I was a child, why don't they get old NBA players to be coaches? Why don't they get old NFL players to be coaches? They know the game, they understand it, and they've been on the field. Why go get a guy, a coach, some old dude who's, for one, doesn't relate to the players, two, never played the sport themselves? Why would you go get them and then try to convince us that these people know the sport better than the people who actually play it? That doesn't even make any sense. That's like saying, I would rather have a doctor be my doctor that never practiced versus one that did. That doesn't even make any sense. You would always go after the one who has experience in that field. So what I think what happened with this whole situation is that Deion already changed that. Then Deion goes to another school. He changed the coach of that school. I don't think people understand that means that we're losing the way of life. I'll go back a little further real quick. I remember a few years ago when LeBron's agent, they tried to block out LeBron's agent. LeBron's agent is a black man who I don't think he has formal education, but he's damn good at what he's doing. The guy, I think it's Clutch Sports I can't think of his name right now. But I remember when the league tried to basically change the criteria overnight to where you had to be a degree in this, and the third. They're telling you is that those old guard is going to stay in position. And if y'all going to try to force us to change, we're going to make sure we make an example out of those people. So let me tie it all in together. So from Lamar Jackson basically being one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league right now, basically says, I want an equal pay to what other quarterbacks are getting, and the Baltimore Ravens saying they're not going to do it. They're pretty much telling him, and I think the reason why they did it to Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson didn't hire an official agent. And see, what people don't realize is the agents, the lawyers, the publicists, all of them do not work for the players, do not work for the talent. They are owned by the organization. People don't understand it. So when Lamar basically says, I'm not going to use your agents anymore, when Shedeur or Silo Sanders, Deion's kid, says, well, we're going to get our dad to be our agent. And then our dad pretty much says, we're going to pretty much move around at our own accord. We're going to build us great programs and people are going to want to come play for us. That threatens every way of being that we've already seen. You know how it goes. There are white people who are going to be your coaches. There are going to be white people who are going to be your agents. There's going to be white people who's going to be your lawyers. And if you try to hire your own, we're going to push you out. And I think what they pretty much are telling the Sanders family is that you can't be what the Archie Manning family is going to be. And I think we see it. I think we all see it. And it is what it is. I just think right now, I think it's a good thing. Because for the people who want to deny the racism that goes on in this world, they have no other choice but to start staring at and looking at different. They have no other choice but to pretty much look at what's staring them directly in their face. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But I don't want to take up the whole time talking about Shedeur. Congratulations to the brother for getting drafted. I hate that it has to be Cleveland. I know for Cleveland fans, you don't like to hear that. But you know there's a graveyard for quarterbacks, and I think that they sent him to Cleveland on purpose. I think that that's unfortunate. That's what I'm going to say. But to the brother, I'm glad you held your Browns. I'm glad you didn't give them what you wanted by getting out of pocket and being emotional. You held yourself. You basically took what was given to you. Now, I know y'all guys are frustrated over there in the Sanders house right now, but I applaud you for holding yourself and being disciplined and not letting them see that they got to you. Big ups to you guys. We're watching you. We're supporting you. And I'm telling you, all of us got your back. So don't at this point to the Sanders family, don't buck. Don't buck your heads. Don't tuck your shoulders. I'm telling you, we support you. But anyways, like I said on today's show, I'm not going to hold you too long. We're going to cover different topics. But before I do that, let me dive into the very first playlist of music. Let's see what we can get going. Come back. We're going to continue with the show. The Scott Free Morning Show, guys. Good morning.
school.
And we've got new school.
Always plays the new music first right here.
It's 300 Radio.
We are back. All right, guys. Like I said, today's show, I don't want to, you know what I realized I've been doing the last couple of days? Because not only when Miss Levy say I don't think she's going to be here today, but and you know, bad thing about I didn't even hit her up. I should have hit her up to see if she was available today, but I was running late. But anyway, you know, one thing about doing this platform that generally jumps out to me, I get a lot of times I get to start talking, and sometimes during the commercial breaks when we playing videos, people send me things like that. And hold on one second. I think the video feed is getting bad over here. Hold on one second. Let me make sure the feed's working better. Okay, so the people send me things the other day, and I wanted to touch this because I said to myself, this week we cannot dominate this week talking about Shannon, right? Shannon Sharp I'm talking about. But one thing I did want to cover when it comes to that is the I saw this. Let me show you guys something. And this is why I say that I was telling people over the weekend that it really doesn't matter what position Shannon played in this whole story. He was going to be the bad guy. If he was the lawyer in this situation and we were talking about two white people, they would be talking about, like, if the lawyer that basically brought these charges up on Shannon was a black man in the situation, it was the only person in here who was black, what the story would have been then, it would not be whether Shannon's right or wrong, whether this is an OnlyFans model or not. This would be, why is a lawyer that basically just got over trying to falsely accuse another black man of means, and having his, I think his license got revoked in the state of New York. They will be talking about how this black guy has to get in trouble for all of this false allegations. We have to do something to change this because too many people's lives are being wrecked from people doing this, from lawyers like this. That's what the narrative would have been. And if you're telling me I'm wrong, you're being disingenuous and dishonest. If the OnlyFans model was a black person and everybody else was white in here, the situation still would be different. It would be, how dare this nasty little child tries to set up this man of means that has worked hard for his money. This person ought to be ashamed of himself. She's an OnlyFans model. She's been used to doing stuff like this. Why did she record him? Only a person who records a conversation is a person who is trying to get some. These are types of things that we would talk about. But like I was going to say, it doesn't matter which position Shannon is in. And the reason why I know that we're just doing this against black men is because what other case in the last few years about sexual allegations that all of us want to know the details about, but they just refuse to cover it in the media? And we're talking about Jeff Epstein, right? I saw this, family, the other day. I saw this on the screen. I saw this too. The Jeff Epstein, the woman, one of the main people accusing these people, and she has a lot of names that this lady had pretty much said she knew about that were involved. Just miraculously and mysteriously up and dies. But no one's covering this story at all. You notice that we do not cover this all. We do not cover all of the officials that were supposed to be on these flights and on Jeff Epstein Island, the entertainers, white, black, and indifferent. All of them. We've seen some heavy hitters and nobody talks about it. But let's just take a story like Diddy. You'll take Diddy's story and then they will talk about baby oil. I don't give a shit about baby oil. I've watched many of videos they've had baby oil. Baby oil is not a sin. It's not a crime, but we want to talk about that. That tells me they don't have much on him. But see what it is, I've learned this too from talking to like everyday black people. Everyday black people will look at the stuff that is happening to us, and they pretty much only prioritize what people of other groups tell us we should pay attention to. That's what I see. Because if we really cared about injustices that were happening to people, we would not wait for CNN to cover it, for MSNBC to cover it, for Hollywood Unlocked, like it's on the screen, to cover it. We would do our own research and we would get outraged for the stuff that we want to get outraged for. But for some odd reason, these types of stories always seems to go under the radar. And on the screen, you notice there's no black people here. Can you tell me a story that has this type of implications involved and black people are the ones that's in it and nobody talks about it? Now, you know that's not going to happen. So that's why I guess too, when I see stuff like this, you're going to be hard pressed to get a person like myself to jump out the window off of stuff that happens to black people, especially when it's consensual, especially when no laws have been breaking. I am not the moral police in this world, okay? And neither are you, because all of us doing some shit we ain't got no business doing if that's the case. So, but I digress. I just wanted to say that when I saw that, I instantly thought to myself, this doesn't even look right at all. What else did I want to cover on here? Did I want to go to another break? Oh, no, I did want to cover this. But before I cover it, I'm playing a video. So I want to cover a couple of things. I want to cover, I think I want to cover something I saw Stephen A. Smith covered again. And I'm not trying to make it about Stephen A. Smith. It's just this nigga's always online saying some egregious things. So I have to address it. It comes across my feed, I'm going to talk about it. But I want to show you guys something from Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler, the guy who just did the Sinners movie with Michael B. Jordan. Great foundational Black American director and writer. But he was getting interviewed and something sparked me. And I want to show you guys something. But before we get into it, I want to do the fair use thing. So let me go and play a video. I'm going to play the fair use. And then we're going to come back and we're going to discuss this Ryan Coogler thing that I want to discuss. Because I think this needs to be talked about. And I'll cover it in a second. So give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, guys, give me 2 seconds. Let me make sure everything's working.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
We are back. We are back. We are back. I wanted to play that because I'm gonna play this Ryan Coogler piece. He was basically being interviewed real fast about the deal that he got for Sinners. And I want to play this because, family, I don't ever see this happen to other people. I'll give you an example of what I mean. I don't understand why we feel the need to discuss this man's income. But let me play the clip first, and then I'm going to come back. Let me put it up on the screen first. Let me play this clip first. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to play it. Listen to this.
And talk about what you negotiated in making Sinners, the arrangement you had with Warner Brothers. The New York Times reports Warner Brothers agreed to spend $90 million to make Sinners and agreed to give you a cut of gross ticket sales, now rare arrangement known as first dollar gross, meaning before they recoup their costs, you're getting money as well. Warner also agreed, and this is absolutely key, to relinquish its ownership of the film to you after 25 years. The Times reports, quote, some rival film companies were horrified that Warner Brothers would give a film away even after a period of time.
Okay, let me pause it right there. Let me put my Maggie music because I wanted you guys to hear this. It's not even so for his response. I wanted to put it up there for this. Fam, can you tell me any other time in your life you've heard them discuss Martin Scorsese film deals? And I say him because he's really, really big. Can you name any big white filmmaker what their deals are with it? Hell, we don't even know what Tyler Perry's deal is. See, the issue that I have with this is this. That's putting a target on that man's back. We know in this world that black men do not get out their business clean. The more wealth that you generate, the more the target gets on your back. You want to know how we know? Every person that had a large sum of money for some reason in our black society seems to have lost it all on their way out. And I think for this is that this young man's not even 40 yet. To broker deals that he's doing like this, he's an exceptional young man. That's a dog whistle she's putting on his back. She is basically telling to people, why did y'all give this nigga this deal? And why do I say that? Because what you didn't hear, Ron Coogler, you should go watch this clip. Ron Coogler goes on to tell her basically, this ain't the first time they've done this deal. This deal happens, deals like this happen all the time. And so if deals are happening like this all the time, this is not unprecedented. This is not something that is like never been heard of. But why do we feel the need to discuss this about him versus just talking about the film itself? The reason why they're discussing that is because people need to understand she's telling everyone in the world that ain't paying attention. Here's a black man moving, y'all. Pay attention to what this man is doing. Because I'm going to ask you this. Why, if this isn't the first time this deal has been made and this has happened to other directors and writers before, why would the other movie houses be horrified by the deal? No, that's sending dog whistles. Y'all trying to make sure that people understand Ron Coogler is a black man that's ready to make a large more sum of money. Ron Coogler, to you, brother, I say right now, I know you're a married man. I think you're a family man. Please, oh please, watch your back because she just put a target on it. No one else looks at it that way, but I do. Watch your back, brother. That's just my personal opinion when it comes to that. So, but I digress. I did want to say that about it because when I saw that, I instantly thought about that. It was something else I was going to tell you. And what that did for me, because I want to tell you, that sparked something in me. If you really stop and think about it, we never discuss white people money. You ever notice that? Like, look at sports. When a big-time NBA player in free agency, ready to burp. When the big-time big-time NBA players, big-time NFL players, baseball players, whatever. You ever notice that when they sign a deal, LeBron James just signs a 5-year, $200 million deal. Patrick Mahomes just signed 5 years, $180 million. You know, they always doing that. You notice they don't ever discuss the white guy's money. We don't ever see, like right now, I honestly can't tell you what Jokic makes. And they may tell you what Jokic makes. They may tell you what a Dirk Nowitzki makes, but you don't know what other guys in the NBA salaries make. They make sure to only discuss our money. When Will Smith at one point, I remember he was the highest paid actor in Hollywood per movie, action film. He was making $25 a film. I don't know what any of the white action stars are making. Why do I know what Will makes? Because they highlight it. There's a reason for that. And I think the reason is that we want people to know what you guys are making so we can keep a check and a watch on you. See, we live in a world to where black people are supposed to be controlled and dominated at all times, as you can see. And this is just a prime example of that happening. It's something I wrote down here. What is that? Yeah, but that's what I was going to say. There. I forgot. I was going to say something else to that, but I can't even remember what it was. But I would just say that it's not ironic that that's the case. Something else I did want to discuss is totally off topic. Like I said, I'm a little random today. I wrote down a couple of points that I did want to discuss. I didn't want to forget. Another one is family. Let me put my health practitioner hat on. Family. These shots, Ozempic shots, and these other things that people are taking, I'm scared for you guys, people. I'm scared not because I don't want you to get healthy and get your life in order. I'm afraid because I don't think there's enough research on this stuff, and people are taking this like this. Look, these things are not even the reasons they was invented wasn't even for weight loss, and I'm a little nervous because I don't know what the long-term effects are going to be on these things. If you look at anything that takes away your appetite to the point where you're I've heard some people say that they get nauseous when they have to eat. Well, you have to eat to live, people. I know this is not a healthy thing to do. This cannot be sustained. And I know some people are going to take this. This is going to have, I'm afraid this is not going to end well for a lot of people. So I would just say, if you're doing it, be careful. Do some research. Make sure that you are paying attention to any articles, any papers and things that's coming out about it, because I'm afraid for you. Because I'm going to tell you, it's at least if you're going to be doing this, at least work out, people. See, have you ever noticed all these people, all these quick loss, all these get quick weight loss schemes that they have out here, to where, they have the 100-day challenge where you could drop 100 pounds of weight in 100 days. Great for the people to get the weight off fast. Great. But you do know the faster you speed up that process, the looser that skin's going to get. I would employ people, if I had 300-400 pounds of weight to get off, I know I don't want to hear the long road. I want to hear quick where I can get to fast. Unless you have money and, because I'm not big a fan of surgery. Unless you have the money to lose the weight fast and then have all that loose skin removed, I would tell you slow the process down. Take a year or two. Do it slowly. Increase your protein. Slow down your weight loss, how much weight you drop per day, per month, per year. And in the long run, you won't have all that loose skin. Your body will bounce back better. And you'll look better without having to do the surgery. I'm very worried about the coach, because I know so many people that have jumped onto these things. And I'm just telling you guys, we don't know the full research. So, proceed with caution, I guess is what I'm saying. But anyway, we're going to take another break, jump into another video. Let me see, what do I want to do? I want to hear something myself so I can bebop to it. I know exactly where to go. All right, guys, I'm going to be back in a second. Scott Free in the morning. See you in a moment. Bye.
old school.
Old school.
And we've got new school.
Always plays the new music first right here.
It's 300 Radio.
Yeah, that to me, I don't know why I found that song so late. I love that fucking song. Really quick, guys. I wanted to tell you something. And like I said, I had a totally different direction I was going today. But I just was doing a text message while I was on break. And sparked some. I was having a conversation yesterday with a young lady about relationships and whether or not women, when they get a little older, should they still have to worry about building or finding a man that they have to pour into who would, let me make it easy. I was talking to a young lady about whether or not women, the argument online a lot of times is whether or not a woman should have to, after making a success of herself, get with a man who hasn't made a success yet. Like, is he still in the process of building something? And what we got into the conversation is because I feel that when we were starting out, she was thinking, she basically was letting us know that she was letting me know women are tired. Women are tired of getting with guys, pouring into them, helping them build their businesses, and then either one, it never comes to fruition, or two, if it does come to fruition, he leaves her and runs off with a white girl. I'm joking about the white girl part, but sometimes it does that. And what I try to get her to understand is that, for one, I understand your pain. I get it. Nobody wants to get with someone who, after you pour into them, they walk away from the situation. It will make you bitter. It will make me bitter. I agree with it. So I don't have any issues with that. I think what the young lady like her, and I would always say to all women who are single, see, it's a crapshoot. It's like anything else. It's like any job that you go for. I tried to explain to her, I did pretty well for myself now. I do pretty okay for myself now. Definitely better than I was, say, 10 years ago, right? So 10 years ago, if a woman met me and wanted to deal with me, she's going to probably look at me and say, this guy's a bum. I don't want to deal with it. He's in the process still trying to build something, and I'm just not. I don't have it in me. But now you fast forward to today, I do a lot better. Women say, oh, God, you seem successful, this and that. Yes, but I had to build here. See, but I'm an honorable guy. I'm a loyal guy, and I'm always the type of man that says, I'm going to support the people who supported me. See, it's hard. I get it. I don't want to pour into someone and they walk away from me. I want to make sure that whoever I pour into sticks with me. I get that. I'm going to tell you just to use that little intuition y'all say all women have. You know, they say all women have intuition when they man cheating on them, right? But they never had an intuition when they man need their little dick suck or something. I'm sorry I said it, but it's true. Y'all never know that, but you always know when your intuition when you think he's cheating on you. All right? So I know y'all have intuition. I'm gonna need you to have that same intuition or some discernment when it comes to the guy you're dealing with. And if you can't use that discernment on whether or not this guy is worth pouring into or not, I'm gonna give you a couple of clues. One clue. If your man is talking about building something all the time, but he spends more time, say, playing on a PlayStation than he does actually diving into whatever he say he's building, I'm going to tell you that's not going to end poorly for you, man. I don't care how good of a outline that he lays out, how great the business or whatever he's trying to do is going to be, that's not going to end well. His work ethic isn't high enough. So I would tell you, that situation is, this is the time you need to let that man know, look, I understand that you have these desires, but these are some things you're going to have to do, otherwise I can't stay. I don't think anybody would argue with me on that. But what I can tell you also at the same time is that at the same time, a man maybe put all his all into what he's trying to do, and it may not still work out. Didn't mean you wasted your time. It just means that's life. But I promise you, you have a better odds of getting someone who's going to love on you, support you, and take care of you if you support them first. I promise you I'd be better suited than getting a man that was already made when you got with him. I think Kevin Samuel said it best, and I'm not the hugest Kevin Samuel fan. Like I said, I understand what his platform was supposed to have been about. His methods and ways of going about it may not always be what I agree to it, but I agree with the message. Black family advocate is what I'm for. I'm all about that. So I would just tell sisters when it comes to it, stop worrying about whether or not you can definitively figure out whether he's going to become a success or not, because you can't determine that. You're going to have to determine whether or not this is a good human being and worth me pouring into. And if you do it that way, I promise you're better suited to finding a man who's going to rock with you down the road. Because what I feel like we're getting now is I've seen too many 40 plus, 50 plus year old women not only leaving their situations, but not even getting into one to start because they're waiting for the statistical anomaly. See, I do know this about Black society. They have us chasing what is not the easiest path for us. Like I always tell people, I wanted to be an NBA player myself when I was a kid. I played ball. I ruptured my Achilles. This is how much I played ball as a child. Wanted to go. Now, if I had proper parenting when it came to about my future and which ways was best and what's best to put my energy into, it probably would have been better suited for someone to tell me, put more energy into entrepreneurship than it would be into the NBA. See, less than 1% of the people who actually pick up a rock and play organized sports makes it to the big time. But I think it's the percentages is a lot easier for me to make. It's a better chance that I can make $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 potentially a year as an entrepreneur than it is for me to make $60 billion trillion as an NBA player. But for some reason in our culture, we kind of push our children. We will put the energy into our children playing sports, AAU, high school basketball, and for a less than 1% chance. But those very same people will not put the energy into telling your child to make sure they are thriving in the educational system. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not a huge fan of traditional education. I say you need to use it for what you need to get out of it, though. See, like for me, I give you a class example. My daughter. My daughter is in a graduate program at a big institution. She is paid to do research at this institution while she's getting her doctorate right now at the same time. When she gets out, she will have better connections. She will know people. She will be able to probably navigate this world even better than me. And so that was the path that we kind of all put her on to go down, because that was better than, say, me trying to get her to become a clothing designer. She likes fashion. But if I tell her to become a clothing designer is 9 times 10 not going to make money. And if you do make money, you have to build a name first before you can build the clothing line. So she would be better suited and I would tell this to anybody, and to their children and to themselves. You'll be better suited to build yourself something up that you can economically take care of yourself with than to you are just trying to follow your passion. Because a lot of times your passion is not even something you really think is your passion. You've been conditioned into your passion. And then you're going to say, hey, what do you mean by that? Look at it this way. You cannot tell me that out of 43 million Americans, we have so many black Americans who wanted to be an actor or an actress. We have so many black boys that want to be basketball players. So many black boys that want to be football players. You got these things. These things are stuff that are conditioned in front of our face. Why do everybody want to do those handful of things, but not many doctors in our community, not many lawyers in our communities, not many dentists in our community, not many archaeologists and things like that? Why don't we have those? We don't have those because, for one, those are not put in front of our face. The only thing that we honestly find, your culture is going to gravitate towards what they see on a regular basis. That's why back in Jim Crow and before, during Jim Crow and during the Civil Rights era, why did you see so many more black educational people in those fields? It's because they lived with those people. It was nothing to live next door to a doctor or a lawyer, but your dad worked at a factory. That was because we segregated. They forced you to live in those neighborhoods together. So my dad may be a trash man, but if I go out every day and I live beside a lawyer and a doctor, when I see Mr. Johnson, who goes in his suit every day, who drives a fancy car, I'm like, oh shit, I want to be like Mr. Johnson. Not disrespecting my dad, he works hard, but I get my work ethic from him, but I want that. So you don't see that anymore. You only see that on TV, and you see the ball player getting it, you see the entertainer getting it. And the reason why you only see those two is because those people are bought and paid for. It's God honest truth. You cannot tell me that LeBron James, and I'm going to use him as an example, is still the great, or is what has always been the greatest player in the United States or in the world. You can't make me believe it. I believe that he is one of the best players that they have vetted and made sure that they're okay with. But I guarantee you there's a basketball court in New York or California or in the South, because I'm from the South. We ball out there. There's somewhere out there where somebody will take LeBron to up on the court and dog him. But they don't ever go after those people. You want to know why they don't go after those people? Because they don't fit their narrative. So I just say to people all the time that, and I started this because of relationships. The young lady started, and I don't know how I got down this path, but let me come back to that. Let me make my point so you won't think that I just had you out here strung you along for nothing. To the young lady's point, I do agree that you should never waste time on anyone, but you're better to get with a man that is trying to build something, really trying to build something, and you get in there with him and try to build it with him. Because at the end, he's going to have a certain level of loyalty, a certain level of respect, a certain level of, this person rode with me, so I'm going to ride with them back. And if that man doesn't have that attitude, you should pay attention to the way he moves before he makes it. Because he already has that in him. If he's already selfish before he makes it, he's going to be really selfish once he do make it. That's why I always say to those people, the people who get put on and then shit on the people that they were with, those people already shown it. I'll give you an example. I was listening to Jim Jones, or was it Jim Jones or Mace? One of them was telling Jim Jones or was Cam. One of them was telling the story about Mace when Mace first got put on. And it sounds like just from the story they tell that Mace basically was like, fuck everybody, I'm gonna roll with myself. But Cam was willing just to stay with the homie. But it sounds like, and it eventually looks like Mace grew up and he understood the importance of being around his people. So this is not to slander any Mace or Cameron. I'm not slandering any of these brothers. It just looked like at the time they were young, immature, and he probably was a little bit selfish. So, but I would tell you, if that's the sign of who you're dealing with, you need to get away from that person. But if the person is putting you first when they ain't got nothing, I promise you that person's gonna ride with you. They're gonna feel loyalty to you. This is my conjecture. Hopefully that made sense. But anyway, I digress. But we're gonna go back and we're gonna run one more commercial break, and we'll come back and we're gonna close out the show. It's Monday, guys. I enjoyed this conversation with you guys. You guys just getting a quick shot of me today. I don't have a lot to talk about. Tomorrow's show should be a hell of a lot better than today's show. But give me a moment. Actually this time I got some commercials I need for you guys to check out for some stuff that's upcoming. So let's run this commercial, and when I come back, we'll close out the show. All right. So give me a second.
I tested 300 Radio to see if it lives up to the hype. I can tell you, it's the real deal. Daily live streams, quality content, all celebrating Black American culture. Whether you're on iPhone or Android, 300 Radio keeps you connected to our community. It's more than just music, it's a movement. Join us and experience the power of 300 Radio today.
You know that feeling when you turn on the TV or radio and it's like nobody sounds like you? Yeah, it's frustrating, but things are changing. More Black voices are breaking through, telling our stories our way. It's not just about being seen, it's about being heard, and it matters. When we control the narrative, we shape how the world sees us. We're not just characters in someone else's story anymore. We're the storytellers, the hosts, the producers, and it's making waves. Places like 300 Radio are giving us the mic, letting us speak our truth. So next time you're looking for fresh content that actually gets you, give Black-led media a listen. Trust me, you won't regret it.
Hey, debate enthusiasts, get ready for a mind-blowing new series presented by 300 Radio that's about to shake up your feed. Agree to Disagree is here, and it's not your average debate show. We're diving deep into the hottest topics, bringing you passionate voices with opposing views. But here's the twist. It's all about empowering the Black American community through intellectual discourse. No holds barred, no topic off limits. From lifestyle choices to societal issues, we're tackling it all. And the best part, it's not about winning, it's about understanding. So whether you're nodding in agreement or shaking your head in disbelief, you're in for a wild ride. Tune in, speak up, and let's elevate the conversation together. Remember.
We are back. All right, guys, we're going to close out today's episode. Before I do, I did want to touch and talk to the family real quick about where I want the platform to go in the future. Guys, we're still in the building process, and that's why things at times can be a little sporadic. That's why sometimes you can go on 300radio.com and the feed may be down. We are a grassroots organization. We have no corporate backing, no corporate money, and it takes a lot to basically produce any show, let alone a whole network. And so what I want people to know is that being that it takes so much to do it, sometimes the show itself can lack the content that I want it to have. Sometimes I want the show to be a little more spot on, a little more with a little more purpose for each episode. I like to say all the time that I'm an emotional podcaster, meaning I won't podcast unless I have something to say. But also sometimes I understand myself. Some days I can get into my emotions so much to where if some weeks if I waited to just when I was emotionally ready to podcast, you wouldn't get no content every week. So what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to find balance in when it comes to that and with the content I'm trying to bring you guys. I think this platform should be used for more, for less. Because I was listening to, the reason why I'm here is this. Let me say this. I was listening to the playback to some of the episodes that I've been doing, and let me be transparent with you guys. The shorts on the YouTube is going to be everybody's number one platform for me to get my content out in long form. If you go on my YouTube channel, you'll notice that my long form content doesn't get a lot of viewership to these shows. A lot of the people, like right now, we have 1,600 people in the queue watching it live, but the playback, you guys not translating over into content, so we're not getting the viewership over there. But the shorts are doing well. I did the analytics last week. We did over 50,000 views on the shorts last week. So the people are interested in the topics, but maybe the long form. So I'm doing something incorrectly. I know this. So I'm still working on that. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing correct, what you guys want and need. But what I do want you to understand is that this platform for me is everything, because this is my way of contributing to the community, to the culture, and giving you something positive. I probably would have been way more successful in business way faster if I didn't try to do things that were going to be healthy for the community. I genuinely find that as long as you're starting a business that's a detriment to the culture, you can get that off the ground and popping all day. So like for me, if I wanted to go open a liquor store or something like that, I probably could do it all day and make a shit ton of money, but I'm going to help tear down my community, and that just doesn't sit well with me. So I want to produce something that is not only just entertaining, but also something that you guys are going to love, all right? But something you're going to get something from. Let me say it that way too. I want to make sure you guys get something out of each one of the contents that I'm ready to produce for you guys. And I don't feel like I'm always doing that. I feel like some days we're just chasing the ambulances, the Shannon Sharp stories, like today, the Shedeur Sanders stories. But there's so much more that we could be talking about as a community. Black male-female relations is just out of whack right now. You have, like, I'm in a business that I come in contact with a lot of women, and I get a lot of feedback from women. Women are, fellas, let me tell you something that you may not know to be true. Women, the one thing that this world has given them, like, I'm not a big fan of feminism. I'm not a big fan of prioritizing males over females or females over males. We're equal. We just do certain things stronger than the other. A woman gives birth to a child. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I know I ain't strong enough for it. But I also know if I need to lift some shit, I'm going to call a lady. I'm going to lift and pick it up. I'm that dude. I can do that. I'm built for that. But I think too many times in this world, people, in our culture, especially in our culture, we are fighting to dominate each other versus fighting to love on each other. And we need to discuss that in a more healthy fashion. Stop all this. Men are just trying to get right and women are just the problem, or the men are the problem and the women. No. We have someone who wakes up every day and they make sure that black men and black women are fighting each other. And every time we fight, we lose. When I was talking to the sister yesterday about the relationships and whether or not you should build with a man or not, that if you get older, should you still continue to try to pour into a man who's still in the building process, say past 40? And I say, yes, if it looks like he's really trying to produce something. Because remember, the building part of a relationship isn't all day. Okay, like for me, I build every day. I work every day. My mornings start at 5 o'clock and they go. But when it ends, and then my personal life begins, and I try to put my business life to the side, but it's not every day. So at the end of the day, if I got a woman, what happens at the end of it is you do your business, you got a woman, you do what you need to do, you go home, you love on that person. That's the whole purpose. I can promise you this. If you make a success out of yourself, you make a lot of money at the end of it all, it's going to be futile and pointless at the end. Once I get to millionaire status, I don't want to be out here by myself. I ain't going to have nobody to share it with. It's going to be lonely at the top. So we need to be doing more content that's just going to pour into us, because we are some amazing people and we are loving on each other. It's just nobody prioritizing it. There's nobody putting it in front of our faces. And one thing I know to be true is the way the human mind works is seeing is not believing. Believing is seeing. If I believe it to be true, I can see it. If I don't believe it to be true, I can't see it, even if it's sitting in front of my face. One saying I like to say all the time is that it doesn't matter what your eyes see if your mind is blind. You feel me? So I wanted to be a little more vulnerable at that moment when it comes to this kind of podcast. Because like I said, I can sit in front of this camera all day long. I can tell you guys what I think about the world and how it moves and how race plays a role in everything. But really, to be honest, I don't even want to discuss that every day. I don't. I know it seems like I do, but that's because that's where the world seems to be heading. But I don't want to. I would like to engage with my own culture. I would like to engage with people who want to pour into each other. Like for me, I'm a health guy. We don't even get to really talk about health that often. I brought up the Ozempic thing earlier today because that was weighing on me. I have not only family members and friends and people that I know that are taking this. I'm worried for them because I don't know what's going to happen long term. They don't even know. The doctors that are prescribing these things are just getting paid off of you, and they don't even know why this stuff is happening. I know this to be true. So I just want to take the Scott Free Morning Show, and I want to make sure that if we're playing music, it's music with a point. If we're going to be having a discussion about male-female relationship, let's do it in a positive way to the point that we can get an outcome out of it that we all can enjoy. But no more of this just shooting content just to be shooting content. I don't want to do that for you guys, and I don't want you guys to do that to me. I want to give you what you need, okay? So moving forward, I'm gonna try my best to give you something new, something you may not ever heard before, but I'm also gonna be very honest when I do it. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Right at an hour. Most of the time I like to go at least 2. But it's Monday and I ain't gonna lie to you. That's what my point. I didn't have a lot to cover with you guys. I just wanted to show my face to you. You know? And if you got anything you want to discuss, like honestly in front of me, I have a whole list of things we could talk about right now. But I only want to do that, and like I said, relationship conversations the whole night, but I only want to do that if you guys want that. So I guess what I'm saying to you is not only do I feel like I haven't given you everything that you need out of my platform, because it's a lot of blackety black, this, that, and the third, but I also want you to engage with me and tell me what you need. All right. So I'm asking you to not only click like and subscribe to the channel, but also tell me what you need in the comment section, and I'll give it to you. I promise you. Not to say I'm trying to chase it, but I want to talk to my community. I want to pour into us. Lastly, and then I'm out of here. See, the end game of 300, and that's what the platform is, 300. And I'm going to tell you where the name comes from, because nobody even knows where the name comes from. And I'll tell you. I was listening, I was watching a movie a few years ago, the 300 movie. If you ever saw the movie, very amazing movie. It was supposed to be about the what was the Greek group? That Greek group. It was a basically, everybody seen the movie 300. So I took the name was inspired by 300 because it's amazing to, even though the story is false as hell. So let me just say that truth. It's not a true story. But for the context of it, the movie, I love the movie because to take 300 men to fight a massive army, that's what we're doing over here at 300. We are a small group of people who are trying to take on the massive media. And we're trying to do it without a lot of people. 300 is all I need. 300 strong people to build me up, to build this platform up where we can take on the world. That's what this whole platform is for. And so, what am I trying to say here? I just want you guys to know that it is a massive undertaking on this side. I guess that's what I'm saying. It's a massive undertaking on this side. But I promise you, I'm going to sit down here every day and I'm going to give you something new every day. I'm going to give you a piece of me. All that I ask in return is that you give me the feedback that I asked for. Hopefully that makes sense. I feel like I was all over the place. I don't know. But I'm going to jump out of here now. I'm going to check you guys tomorrow. I'm going to probably give you a much more cohesive and on-point show. But until then, I appreciate you. I love you. Hit the click and subscribe button. Definitely subscribe so we can start growing this channel out. The more you grow it out, the more energy I'm going to give you. I promise you. But until then, I'm going to close it out and I'll holler at you on the next one. All right? Scott Free in the morning. I'm your man, L. Dot. I love you. Peace.
Whoa. Before you leave this podcast and go somewhere else, did you hit the notification bell? Because if you didn't, please do so now. And I'm talking to the people who've already subscribed. But if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that as well. Hit the like button, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.